Walk me through now your the moment where you and your buddy Lewis are sitting there and you're saying, what if we start our own company called, Gymshark, and how that led to you meeting Steve in 2015. Kind of give me the history of how that takes place.
So I said I loved IT, and I was really, really lucky actually, because in growing up, I grew up I still live here. I grew up in a part of the UK called the West Midlands, so we're right in the middle. It's basically the industrial powerhouse of the UK. It's nowhere near as wealthy as London. It's just sort of I love it here, but it's not the wealthiest part of the UK. So we didn't have massive access to some of the amazing software that's more readily available today. Now, when I took this IT class, I didn't know what it was at the time, but it gave me access to the Adobe Creative Suite. And that's where you had Dreamweaver, so you can make websites, Illustrator for graphics, Photoshop. And I didn't realize at the time how lucky I was to have access to these products, but they literally completely changed my life. Because as a young creative, all of a sudden I could create the things that I was imagining in my head. So started making all these different websites and iPhone apps just because it was something that I thought was cool. And then after a while, I wanted to make a website that would transact, because everything else I'd made didn't actually sell anything. So I had a friend who worked at a supplement company at the time. And I said to him, listen, I want to make a website that's going to transact. I need to know how much it's going to cost me to buy some supplements off you, because at the time I was massively into the gym. I was massively into fitness. My dream was to be like a bodybuilder. And he said to me, it's going to cost, I think it was £8,000 for a purchase of supplements to sell on the website. Now, I'd never even heard of £8,000, let alone seen £8,000 at that point. I was working, I think it was like £4.80 an hour at Pizza Hut. So it was like, it just was unfathomable for me to be able to have that. So what we thought we would do is just make a website that would transact and then drop ship supplements. So for anyone that's watching that doesn't know what dropshipping is, it's basically you load the website up with a load of product that you don't actually own. Someone comes onto your website and buys it, and you basically ship it from another vendor, and it goes straight to the consumer, and you make a small margin. Now, the margin was tiny, so I'll never actually forget this. We had our first sale. It took 3 months, I think, to get the first sale. And it was a £50 supplement, of which £2 was profit. Now, to any commercial business person, £2 profit on a 50 quid sale is not particularly great, and you have to do ridiculous scale for that to be worth anything. But the aim of the game was just to be involved in fitness any way that I could, and also build a website that would transact. And this did it. So I was like literally running around my bedroom buzzing with the fact that we'd actually made a website that transacted. So, and that was how it started, really. And it was super organic, right? The name Gymshark, because at the time I'd made so many websites previously, to me, this was another one. I didn't know it would be anything great. So Gymshark was just a cool domain that I found online. It was short. I bought it off GoDaddy. It was about £3.50. It was, the whole startup cost, bearing in mind, everything was drop shipped and through the domain. Our startup cost must have been £20, $30. It's like nothing. So that's essentially how the business started.
What was your role and what did Lewis do? Was Lewis CMO, COO, CEO? You were CEO, CFO. Who handled what? Whose strengths were what?
So at the time, because it wasn't like a business as such. It was just a case of let's go off and make this. So we didn't really have roles. Now, as we fast forward, that's when the business developed and roles sort of occurred. So like I said, we were drop shipping these supplements, and it was going okay. There'd be a sale every few days or so, but because the margins were so small, you'd be making like, £4 or £5 a week, maybe, in terms of profits. So after a while, and going back to sort of luck, there was this, I guess, something that was so fortunate and lucky that just the stars had to align. So in Birmingham, there's a place called the NEC, which is the National Exhibition Centre. Now, every year, they would have one of the best fitness events in the world called Body Power. And for me and all my friends that wanted to be bodybuilders and basically fitness people who just followed that YouTube scene massively and the bodybuilding scene, we'd check in with Olympia every year. That was like our one opportunity to see these amazing people from around the world, normally from, the US and places like that. So every year we would go to Body Power just to be amongst the fitness champions of the world. And we were all walking around, me and my mates, and I'll never forget this because I had to sort of run off to Pizza Hut because my shift would normally start at 5. So we got there Saturday morning and spent the day there. And you're looking at all these people in all the fitness clothes and the stringer vest and the more the old school bodybuilding stuff. And then we try it on, but because we were more, slender in our physique than the huge bodybuilders, it would like drown us because they would be so massive. So we just thought to ourselves, right, why don't we just try and make our own? Now, conveniently at the time, my nan was basically doing a curtain making course. So I thought to myself, right, why don't we buy a sewing machine? We bought a screen printer, essentially with all of our savings. And we started to basically hand make clothes, to be honest, more for ourselves than anything else, and then happened to put them on the website. I think that coincided with the fact that we loved YouTube, still do, right? So I haven't watched telly since I was very, very young, and it would always be around football or soccer in the States. I literally just thought, right, let's send this product that we love to some of our heroes on YouTube and see what they think. And those guys started to wear it more and more. It, built up, I guess, a bit of a brand, and people started buying our clothes online.
So if you like this little short clip from an interview I did, click over here to watch the entire interview. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.